Clara because she screwed everything up in Back to the Future.
But but this but I mean this also may have the best voice cast of any show because you had Dan Castellaneta playing Doc Brown, you had Mary Steenburgen play Clara Brown,
Married to Sam Malone, by the way. She's married to
yeah,
Ted Danson.
yeah, and then Bill Nye would occasionally come in and do stuff as Dr. Brown's lab assistant.
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Now, what other Bill Nye is there?
Yeah, yeah. Come on, for
I
crying
didn't know
out
if he was
loud.
mispronouncing Bill Nighy.
Yeah, yeah. It's Bill Nighy who is
Not the real big Bill Nighy.
yeah. Um. Okay, so where does this go? Where are we putting this?
I think this is tier 1.
I think it's right below Bobby's World.
I think it's above Rocco's Modern Life and Bobby.
This is like your Bob Me. Like this for you like you were drawing a line across that line.
I mean, what does Rocco's Modern Life bring to the table? Back to the Future had McDonald's toys. I had them. I bought Happy Meals.
Are you allowed to say that for work? Are you allowed to admit to that?
Yeah.
I only bought the toys.
I would be willing to drop Rocco's Modern Life and Bobby's World down one, and then slot Back to the Future in at 13.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Are you okay with that, Jer?
That works for me.
So our tier 1 is starting to fill up now. Let me just screen share this real quick, so those of you watching on YouTube can see where our tier 1 is. Only a couple empty spots remain.
Yeah.
And Disney really taking, just like Pixar will in the future.
Just rocking.
Disney doing it. So, we'll see how it goes. We got some more left to go through. There's some good ones left in here too.
Yeah.
Here's one: Ren and Stimpy.
So
Dirty adult humor on Nickelodeon.
So I'm gonna throw this out there because I don't know how it was for the two of you. You know, I remember I think there's maybe like a season of The Simpsons I was not allowed to watch. I think just because my parents just knew that other parents weren't letting their kids watch. At least my mom like had a sense like other parents were just saying no to The Simpsons. But like some of my favorite moments as a kid were watching Ren and Stimpy with my father. Like, also watching Married with Children with my father, which probably says a lot about my dad, but, like I watched the show all the time with my parents, and I loved it. It was a brilliant freaking show. It was absolutely brilliant. I mean, they had amazing, like, guest voiceovers that would come on. Like, I feel like this is like a good hipster marketing. Like I don't know, like as our senior hipster correspondent, Jeremy. Like do hipsters talk about this anymore? Like is this something that they still?
You know, I think that the hipsters are a little more into the SpongeBob action still. But you know, I don't know. Ren and Stimpy is always a classic, and I think it needs to be up there because I think it did start that whole thing of adult cartoons that were pitched to kids.
Yeah.
I think it's overrated. I never liked it. It was gross. Like I like gross humor, but it was just like gross.
I mean, it was pretty nasty.
I mean, I'll put it on here, you know, because of the cultural significance and that most of my friends liked it. I'm
going to also say this. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There were like 12 Ren and Stimpy video games. Okay?
Whoa.
Like there were comic books. There was supposed to be a movie, but it fell through. Like the deal between Nickelodeon and Fox fell through. Like I feel like there was also again some marketability. Hell, I mean, I don't know. I think that this belongs at the bottom of tier one, and I know we're kind of stuffing a lot in the bottom of tier one, but I would be willing to bump Bobby's World to the top of tier two
Yep.
and put this at 15.
That's actually lower than I would have put it, and I didn't like this show. Anthony, you remember after we did the sandwich podcast when all your friends came over and they could not believe that like 2 or 3 sandwiches we rated as low as we did?
Yeah.
That's exactly what will happen with Ren and Stimpy after this.
I'm gonna say Ren and Stimpy needs to go above Rocco's Modern Life. I think move Rocco down to 15, Bobby's World down to 16, and put Ren and Stimpy at 14.
I agree with that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I would even, as much as I love Back to the Future, I would even say we could put put it above Darkwing Duck, but I'm fine with moving Bobby's World down. Moves David the Gnome down.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it makes me sad, but I mean, there's part of me that thinks it should be at 11, but I mean, look, the first tier is going to get. I mean, we still have some really heavy hitters.
We do have some heavy hitters, and just a heads up, Jeremy said his battery is soon to die, so we may be doing a little reconfiguring. If
Well, half an hour. I got about half an hour.
Yeah, just saying, we might have to do some reconfig.
Yeah.
We don't want to rush. Next
Yeah.
one. You ready for some lasagna? Garfield and Friends.
Oh man.
Who is Friends besides Odie?
And John.
Normal?
No, but Normal wasn't a friend. He was always trying to get her the hell out of there, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, this is the question that I have: is are you including the cartoon special as part of this franchise?
What's the cartoon special?
I mean the Christmas one.
Oh, I don't know. I don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, but you watch TV, right? I
do
don't
celebrate TV.
Yeah, let's be honest. Like Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, TV is there. It'll always be there. So, I mean, I enjoyed the Garfield Christmas special. I thought it was funny. I don't know. It was okay.
I mean, I think this is tier 2.
Yeah.
It was on for 7 seasons.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a historical cartoon. They made a Bill Murray movie out of it. I think Jennifer Love Hewitt was in there, and if you could give points for Jennifer Love Hewitt, I would. But we're not talking about the movie. We're talking about the cartoon.
Just because something was on for 7 years doesn't make it good. It just means that they were able to sell it for 7 years.
Boom.
Damn.
All right, I'm going to put this below David the Gnome.
Yeah, do it.
Next one. All right, well, I'm just going to scroll back to tier 1 to the very top. This will lead to some discussion. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Number one.
This is the Reuben. I mean, this is the Reuben of cartoon shows.
I can't.
Hold on, wait. Does anybody remember when the Ninja Turtles were on Oprah? The Ninja Turtles were on bleeping Oprah. Does anybody else remember that?
Like the animated Ninja Turtles were on Oprah?
No, the actual the guys from the movie in their suits were on Oprah. Like,
hey, we're not talking about the movie here though. We're talking about the animated cartoon.
Yeah, but the animated cartoon spawned the movies though.
Yeah, and this was all we were all just marketers' puppets because they released these toys and they're like, we're gonna make a cartoon, and then they sold.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, I think you're right. This is number one. I think this is above Chippendale.
It's totally number one.
Yeah. So let's just put it on. Let's put it on as number one, and then let's have the real discussion surrounding the show, which was the best Ninja Turtle,
and how awesome the theme song is. That won't be part of the discussion, but we had to throw that in there.
I mean, this is another one we could do a full podcast on, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can acknowledge this. We can talk about the various movies. We can talk about we can power rank side characters. The simple question is, which was the best Ninja Turtle?
Donatello. He taught me
Donatello.
to be good at school.
Yeah.
The bow was the best weapon in the game.
The
Donatello
Natty
was the
bow!
Now, hold on. And this question is purely directed at Zach. But did you also feel like Donatello was like the Jewish Ninja Turtle?
No, actually.
I
I can see that, but no, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I don't know why. To me, he always kind of identified in my mind as the Jewish Ninja Turtle. So that's
So are
partially.
all three of us in agreement that Donatello was the best Ninja Turtle?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does it surprise anybody here if I told you my brother's favorite Ninja Turtle was Michelangelo?
Michelangelo.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, tell us who your favorite Ninja Turtle is. Tweet at us at Natty Bros and use the hashtag TMNT. We
Yeah.
want to know who your favorite Ninja Turtle was.
Yeah.
And expect a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle podcast at some point in the future because there's way too much to talk about. What was the best Ninja Turtle toy that you had?
My Donatello action figure. It was the very first Ninja Turtle toy I got. I'm pretty sure I still have it in a box at my parents' house.
I had the van.
Ooh.
I had the van. I
I
always wanted the plane that shot pizzas. My friend had it.
I was gonna say I wanted the blimp. Like I asked for the blimp one year for Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever non-denominational present-giving holiday that we always celebrated, and I got the van. And at first I was really disappointed because I wanted to fly the blimp around the house. But I was happy with the van.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on because we could go for hours on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we have another good one to discuss. One that, as I've gotten older, is a little overrated, but definitely has a lot of Jewish influence. The Rugrats.
Ah, Rugrats.
This was a Nickelodeon cartoon. The young kids, they're very young kids. Angelica, Charlie.
Jews.
They did a Passover special, which
Yeah,
I watched millions of times.
yeah.
I'm saying it needs to go in the top 10. Maybe even, I would even say this needs to go number 4.
I would put it at 9.
I was going to say 9.
9.
Alright?
I'd put it on. It's again. I think the theme song was underrated. Like the theme sequence was underrated. You know, they were able to kind of spin it off and and market it. But I think when you compare it to some of these other ones, like G.I. Joe and Gummy Bears and some of those,
I think it's higher than G.I. Joe, to tell you the truth.
See, I think it's higher than Gummy Bears. But
I think it is higher than Gummy Bears.
I mean,
Put it higher than Bears.
yeah, I mean, I would be willing to swap it with Gummy Bears to put Rugrats at 7 and Gummy Bears at 9.
Well, I pushed down Gummy Bears and G.I. Joe, so we have Rugrats at 7, Gummy Bears at 8, G.I. Joe at 9. Batman at 10.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, I think Rugrats is good. I feel like that's another one that if you watch now, you would get a lot of the jokes. And they were named the Pickles. And who doesn't like pickles?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're staying on the baby theme. This is one that Jeremy had a late edition. You probably can't read this, but it says Muppet Babies.
Yes.
Muppet Babies was better than the original Muppets.
Totally.
When you were a kid, right?
Totally. It was the cartoon that seemed like it should be stupid and like you would expect to see on like Nick Jr. or something, but it wasn't.
I think it was on Nick Jr.
I think it was.
I didn't know. I thought it started on regular. It wasn't just a Nick Jr. like Sprout cartoon.
I mean, it was on for It was on for 8 seasons. It started off at CBS. Huh.
I mean, I'll give this 11. I'll give it one of the open spots in the tier 1 right now. Above Darkwing Duck, below Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I really... I mean, this is the thing. I feel like a lot of these other cartoons were spokes in the wheel, right? Like were like the hub of the wheel, and like everything else kind of emanated from that. I feel like this was just kind of a spoke in like the Muppets like mega franchise.
Mm.
So I think to some extent it wasn't as influential. Um, I don't know. I mean I don't even know if I would put it as high as where it is, but
I mean, I could put it below Ren and Stimpy.
I'd say put it below Ren and Stimpy, but keep it in the top tier because it still was a big cartoon. Like, you go up to anybody from our generation and say, did you watch Muppet Babies as a kid? And they're I guarantee you at least 80% of them are going to say, oh yeah, man. And they'll be able to sing the theme song to you.
yeah, but beyond that, what do they got to remember? I don't remember anything else about that.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember they were babies of Muppets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gonzo.
I mean,
Still better than Rocko's Modern Life, though.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I you look at like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? It's like the gold standard. I mean, I remember, you remember plot lines, right? I mean, you remember, specific characters, you remember specific episodes. I don't remember that with Muppet Babies.
Also, what was the conflict in Muppet? I don't know if there was any conflict in Muppet Babies.
They went on adventures.
Adventures. It was
Imagination adventures.
Yeah. Didn't they do one in space? There was space.
That was the
stuff.
actual movie.
I don't know.
I don't know. But we're gonna stay on the small version of your favorite characters. Much better than Muppet Babies, I think. Tiny Toons.
Oh yes.
I feel like it's right around Muppet Babies, but I think it's better than Muppet Babies.
Have you ever seen the version, or it was the episode that they aired, and then apparently they took off air where they no, they aired it and then they never replayed it, but it's like Bugs and Daffy and Porky get drunk and crash a car and die. And it's an anti-drinking cartoon.
Tiny Toons?
Tiny Toons. Look it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. I found it.
That's depressing as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just for that, I think we should take it off the board. I mean, I don't like.
And then they were trying to teach some kids a lesson about not drinking and driving.
I mean, what kids are driving? Also, what kids are drinking? That's a rap lyric, probably.
Kids are driving, kids are drinking.
I mean, yeah, I am kind of indifferent on this. Like, it's a good show. I think it's better than Muppet Babies, but it's like the same exact thing as Muppet Babies. Do we know what came out first? Because I'm ranking that one higher.
I mean, this is the thing. Probably Muppet Babies. In fact, I would with all assurances say Muppet Babies. I think you drop Rocko's Modern Life. I mean, you're going to start seeing a lot of this at the very bottom of tier 1 start getting pushed down.
Yeah.
I would say drop Rocko's Modern Life and put this right below Muppet Babies.
I can do that.
I mean, to me,
shouldn't have aired that DUI episode.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a somewhat generic. It didn't have the flash or the flair or the excitement of Animaniacs.
All I can remember about Tiny Toons is that there was an episode where they were in a classroom. That's all I remember.
I think they were in a classroom every single episode.
Maybe that's why I remember that. All right, let's move along.
Move along.
Iron Man, the animated series. I didn't even remember this one, but it was one of the Fox morning cartoons.
Yeah.
This is our first Marvel cartoon that we're getting into. I was a huge fan of Marvel growing up. I had all the Marvel cards and loved the comics and video games.
Just waiting for another Marvel cartoon to come up.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's our. I mean, that's like our breakfast sandwich.
Yeah. I think this is below Garfield and Friends. I have nothing to say about Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm willing to put it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm willing to put at 20. I'm willing to put it at 20.
Yeah.
It's a solid tier 2. I don't really. I remember it being on. I remember Tony Stark having like a weird mustache. But I really don't remember anything else about it.
I wouldn't remember anything about Iron Man if they didn't make the movies.
Probably.
That's a good point.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to something that's worth our talking about. Another Nickelodeon cartoon. I think the best Nickelodeon cartoon. Doug.
Yes.
Doug Funny.
All right, so now we're getting into some solid ground here. I think that this is really tough.
We have one empty spot in tier one, number 4 right now.
I think that needs to go there for now.
Yeah. I think I am totally comfortable with putting Doug as in a placeholder.
Yeah. And Doug needs to end up in the top 10.
Doug is a great show.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good references to the Beatles, Patty Mayonnaise, Skeeter.
Quailman. I have a friend named Doug that we never call him Doug. All we do is call him Quailman.
That is an awesome nickname for
Killer
somebody named
Tofu.
Ooh, Killer Tofu.
What do you guys think about swapping Animaniacs and Doug?
I'd be okay with that.
Do it.
I love
Do
Animaniacs,
it.
but swap it with
Yeah.
Doug.
Yeah.
Is Doug better than Chip and Dale?
Yes, I think it was.
I've definitely watched more Doug than I have Chip and Dale. It's
I've
tough.
watched more Chip and Dale than I watched Doug, though.
So
Again, it comes back to the not having cable and having to go over to my friend's house to watch shows like Doug and Hey Arnold and all those things.
What are you more likely to watch?
Right now,
Yeah.
Doug.
Doug.
And I also felt like Doug was kind of like the cartoon version of Adventures of Pete and Pete,
Yeah.
which if that was a cartoon would be a top 3 because it not only had I think the best theme song of any show of our childhood.
You had the dancing tattoo.
I mean, it was an amazing show. I feel like Doug had some similarities to that.
Okay.
Yeah. I can remember the Doug theme song very well. Yeah. Doug. Yeah, I remember when Doug's sister couldn't parallel park. Yeah, this is a solid number 2. I'm okay with that.
Great. Awesome.
All right. Let's take a look at our top 10 real quick. Just to recap, we got Ninja Turtles number 1, then Doug, Chip and Dale, Animaniacs, DuckTales, Tailspin, Rugrats, Gummy Bears, G.I. Joe, and Batman the Animated Series.
It's a solid top 10 so far.
Yeah. I can fucks with that.
So here's one I know nothing about, so I have no opinion of this, which should, I think, factor into it. But let me turn off the screen share. Hang on. There we go. This is one Jeremy is excited about. Reboot.
Oh my gosh.
So this is one that I actually put on the list, and I'm going to explain why. And Jeremy, if you can back me up on this.
I totally will.
I think marketing-wise, I don't really think that it did much. I think it was only on for a couple seasons. I only remember a couple episodes, but I feel like the show was so far ahead of its time, right? Like, it was the first fully computer-animated show. Like, I would want to watch this show just to laugh at how outdated the technology was, because, I think there was a show where they were being shot at by floppy disks.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
And there'd always be the game would descend onto their little town, and they had to fight the bad guys while playing the game and acting as characters in the game and saving the user.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just it was on for 4 seasons. They lived in a computer system called the mainframe. It was so wonderfully 1990s technology. But again, it just wasn't anything that really, I don't know, took off. But I think you could look back on this as a consequential cartoon, which is why I would say it belongs. I would put this above. I would put Iron Man down to 21 and put this into 20.
I think that's totally fair.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I say it's a solid mid to upper tier 2 because I mean all in all it was a crappy cartoon, but there was nothing like it when it came out, and it kind of created the whole CGI cartoon world that we have today. So
Reboot. All right, well, Reboot, we put at number 20, putting it in tier 2. Let's keep moving along. This is a good one I had a lot of toys for. Ghostbusters, the animated series. I mean, this was one that probably, looking back, is not very good, but was a pretty big part of my childhood.
See, I think that Ghostbusters and Police Academy, the animated series, fall into a very unique category where the toys that they spun off were actually bigger than the cartoon. Because I remember all of those toys, but I cannot say a single episode of Ghostbusters that I watched. But I had all of the cartoon toys.
Did you have the firehouse that you could pour the goo down?
No, I was never cool enough to get any of the stages, just the action figures.
I had that.
I think I also had that.
But I lost all the parts.
Well, you guys were just
you
awesome.
always do. I mean, that's kind of the point. I think again, this to me, I think you're right, Jeremy. Like, I think this is a somewhat generic cartoon. Marketability wise, it's definitely a top tier. But I think like entertainment wise,
They also lost all the voice actors from the TV, or from the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is below David the Gnome, above Garfield and Friends.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I'm totally cool with that.
All right. Yeah, I think that I mean, it was a good show, but the movie's better. The toys are better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So earlier in the podcast, I talked about, shows were going to get points based on novelty value and how looking back on it, you're like, that was awesome, even if you didn't watch it that much when you were a kid.
Yeah.
This is the prime example of that. This is Pro Stars, which I had to Google the name of what this show was. Pro Stars was the show starring Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson.
I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, it's about helping kids.
And they were like, this was, I mean...
I'm going to bow out if you guys want to place this on, but in my mind, the fact that none of us really knew, Zach, you and I didn't even know this was a show.
I knew it was a show. I just had to Google what the name of it was.
We all had to Google what the name of it was. Like that, it did not click with us at the time. So I automatically say this goes off the board.
Oh,
well,
no.
No. So I mean, that's the thing.
Name me one episode. Can you tell me about one episode of it?
Yeah, Bo Jackson hits a home run, probably.
Probably. Can you tell me about the theme song?
Yeah, it was probably awesome, and Michael Jordan was the man.
Okay. You guys vote. I am recusing myself of this vote.
This should get points because they could not make this show today. If they made this show today, who would be in it? Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez, and LeBron.
But it's God. It was still not obviously a great show.
No, fantastic show.
But it was because they had Marv Albert did voiceover. They had Marvelous Mike Fratello did voiceover, right? Like, I mean, it was all of your favorite announcers from the early '90s. It was
Who would they use if they made this show today? If they took a football or baseball player, because Bo Jackson
definitely not Aaron Hernandez.
No, not Aaron Hernandez.
So all right. So they would use LeBron, Peyton Manning, and
I think they wouldn't use a hockey player. I don't think. They'd use a baseball player, a football player, and a basketball player.
Like Matt Kemp? Like
No.
I don't even know which baseball player you like. Bryce Harper? Would you use Bryce Harper? You'd use Bryce Harper.
You'd use Bryce Harper.
Maybe Bryce Harper. I don't know if he's big enough outside the DC area.
God, that's a con statement.
No.
Like,
They wouldn't use Bryce Harper because people are way more focused on demographic meeting right there, and you can't have two white guys. They'd have to have a Latino in there. So it would be either Big Papi or Maybe I don't know who would it be?
Giancarlo Stanton. One of the
Maybe.
episodes can be all about how he just screws over my fantasy team. It'd be great. I don't think they'd use LeBron either. I think they'd use Kevin Durant. Way more, way more of a family-friendly
And
athlete.
he has a movie.
Yeah, Thunderstruck or Thunder Up or something. All right, so where are we putting this? This is tier 2, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the very bottom of tier 2.
The bottom of tier 2. So are we
Goodness.
bumping Aladdin to off the board?
No, God, you got
Yeah. No, I would put it at 28. I would put it at 28.
All right.
I'd put it right there. I mean,
Tweet at us if you're listening and who you think they would have as the stars and pro stars, because we use hashtag pro stars. The nice thing about all these old TV shows is that you can use the hashtag and no problem.
Yeah.
All right, we're starting to run low on names actually.
No.
So we're starting to fill up. Next one, we're going back to another comedy movie they turned into a cartoon.
Ace Ventura.
No, Ace Ventura was too late in the game. Beetlejuice.
Oh.
I was not a fan. I'm not a Tim Burton fan, and I didn't like the cartoon. So, I mean, this really can't be low enough for me.
I mean, I'm fine putting this off the board right with Adam's Family. Like, it was fine. I had toys from it, but I don't think it was anything special.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Beetlejuice.
Done and done. Suck it.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
This is one I didn't want to include because it doesn't fit, but I think you have to include it. Beavis and Butthead.
So, I think very much like Simpsons or the hamburger. I think Beavis and Butthead is like the hot dog.
Yeah.
Like I just think that this show was so I don't know, like it's its own category. I don't think you can really categorize it with Iron Man or Goof Troop or Pro Stars. Like it's so different.
If we're talking childhood cartoons,
That's a good. Yeah.
I didn't watch Beavis and Butthead as a kid.
That's a good point. Is like, there's a lot of us, except for Anthony and his dad, apparently, that we wouldn't have been watching Beavis and Butthead, at age 7, age 8. Like, that wasn't until 12 or 13 that you started watching Beavis and Butthead cartoons.
It wasn't like, I don't remember really becoming aware of it until I was in middle school, and I think by that time it was really too late.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I would like Beavis. Well, actually, I don't think I would like Beavis and Butthead if I watched it now. I don't know when I would have liked Beavis and Butthead, but it wasn't when I was a kid. So I don't think we should. I think it needs to not be off the board. I think it should be
non-considered.
Top of tier 2, maybe.
Now, I don't think. Look, we did not have a first part of the podcast where we discussed each one and decide whether or not they belong. I just think that it's not even on any of the 3 tiers.
Yeah.
I'm fine discussing it. I just don't think that it belongs in this discussion.
So it gets an NA.
Yeah, goes the way of the Simpsons.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Also, Beavis and Butthead
not.
movie was fantastic.
Yeah, and look, like, it also spawned
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, which now, like, I used to watch that show with my parents. Like,
Yeah.
that was a great show.
That was a great show.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to a childhood cartoon. Beavis and Butthead does not make the cut, as it just does not fall in the category. Coming in 1994, right at the tail end of our rankings, Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
So I actually think that Spider-Man was better than Batman the Animated Series. I remember very distinct episodes. When Venom, like the whole Venom miniseries was huge. The one where he actually turned into a spider was good.
I remember the Lizard Man was a big character in this.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, we have not gotten to the prime Marvel comic TV show.
Don't even talk about it yet. Just don't even talk about it yet. But
Spider-Man's good. I'd put Spider-Man tier 1.
I mean, I would actually put Spider-Man above Batman. I would move everything else down.
Jeremy, what do you think about that?
See, I thought, I don't know, I was always more of a Batman fan, so it's kind of hard for me to make a judge on because I would keep Batman. I'm okay with the shuffling, but I would still keep Batman above Spider-Man because Spider-Man had its shows and its episodes, but like Batman had more shows spin off of it. Like they kept the animated series going. Like Spider-Man just kind of and it died.
No. I mean, look, like Dave. I mean, I don't know how you could say that because MTV did an animated series of Spider-Man, in like the early odds, and then I mean you've had like four full action movies come out.
Right, but you've also had what with 3 of the most critically acclaimed movies. If we're gonna go on movies, Batman trumps it.
I mean, we're not talking about movies here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But like what I'm saying is that like it's not like the initial Spider-Man cartoon didn't spawn anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree to it, but I'll agree in protest because I'm just a bigger Batman fan than I am Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Batman is probably the higher quality series, but I also, when I think about Spider-Man, I think about the cartoon even more than I think about the movies.
And like the I don't know, I just think the villains were even better. Like Kingpin, Green Goblin, like Doctor Oct, like they had some fantastic villains in that Spider-Man
Good toys
cartoon.
came out of that.
Yeah.
I remember it had a good theme song. I don't remember it, but I know it
Wasn't
had a good theme
Kingpin
song.
like really huge in it?
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'd even put it above G.I. Joe at 9.
I'd be willing to do that.
I just remembered the theme song, and it was a good spot.
I'll say this. I would be willing to swap G.I. Joe and Batman.
I was just going to say that.
But Batman at 10, G.I. Joe at 11.
All right.
Is that satisfactory? Whoa.
It's coming back, sorry.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I actually think G.I. Joe should be below Darkwing Duck while we're at it.
Better watch out, you bad boy.
No, you can't.
Why?
No,
I think Darkwing Duck was better. All
yeah,
right.
but I think G.I. Joe had more cultural significance.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we're getting to the tail end of these guys. We're
duck tail end.
Through. The tail spin end.
I think this is going to be a very short conversation on this one. Good job, good effort, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Off the board.
Off the board.
All right.
There's our UPN cartoon.
Yeah. Is Sonic the Hedgehog below Beetlejuice?
Yeah. like this is the thing. It was only done to sell more video games.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic video game.
It was amazing. But like it was, you were just watching an ad. You're watching a 22-minute ad. Thanks, but no thanks.
Good job, good effort.
Yeah.
So when I originally made the list, because I had forgotten about this show until I started the list, I called this one Fucking Gargoyles.
Yeah. I noticed that.
Now it's just called Gargoyles. This was like a late Disney Channel cartoon about gargoyles that attacked things.
So I actually loved this show.
I actually loved it too. I thought it was amazing.
Zach does not like it.
No, I said fucking gargoyles in a good way.
Oh. Okay. Well, then are we going to be able to bump this up into top tier? Because I think it somehow deserves to get pushed into the top tier, but what do we want to get rid of?
I mean, it's better than Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
It's better than Muppet Babies.
So we'll start,
I would even
Ren
be
and
open for
Stimpy?
putting this above Batman.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Like
Went there.
Jeez.
I mean, come on. The intro where the guy's like talking and he has that whole like "we live again," It was great. It was a great intro.
Yeah, it was a great intro.
They like swap back and forth in time, you know. They'd go back to like the medieval ages and be fighting wizards and stuff, and then all of a sudden they go back into the future world. They had flashbacks.
There are annual Gargoyle fan conventions.
Yeah.
You guys there are fan conventions. I think
there
so.
are still fan conventions for Gargoyles.
No, the last one was held in 2009, but they went from 97 to 2009.
That's huge.
12 years of fan conventions called the Gathering of the Gargoyles. Which
Oops, sorry. Sorry, repeat what you just said, Anthony.
I said I cannot imagine like going to a Gathering of the Gargoyles convention. It just seems weird. That's all. So, but I think for our own purposes, I would be willing to, and I know this is going to pain you. I'd be willing to push Back to the Future Ren and Stimpy down and put this at 13.
I feel like Gargoyles has more staying power. I can do that.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because I have a feeling that the two remaining are also going to make the top tier. But let's just recap the top tier for a second. Number one, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, followed by Doug, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Animaniacs, DuckTales, Tailspin, Rugrats, Gummy Bears, Spider-Man, Batman the Animated Series, G.I. Joe, Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles, Back to the Future, and rounding out the top 15, Ren and Stimpy.
Okay. Oh, man.
So, getting good. I had one note about Gargoyles. I always kind of think about Gargoyles and the Mighty Ducks animated show together.
My God, I forgot about that show.
The Mighty Ducks animated show actually came out after 1994, so it did not make these rankings.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay.
We're getting into two big ones. Those of you that are big cartoon fans are probably expecting these two.
I'm sorry. Can we just really briefly say how awesome it was that the Mighty Ducks in that cartoon flew around in a spaceship shaped like a duck hockey mask?
I mean, that was a great overall.
That's a great show. I don't mean to go off topic, but I just remembered them flying around in that, and that was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was a good show. And I feel like the Mighty Ducks franchise, like, good job on the hockey team for just making that into, like, oh, we're going to make a movie with the same name. Like, how many fans did they get from that?
No, yeah.
All right,
guys.
Let's get to this because the anticipation is killing me.
We got the heavy hitters, and I did not intentionally save these two for last, but it worked out perfect. So our second to last cartoon for the night.
Okay.
Oh, God.
X-Men.
All right, so, I was actually really hoping that this would be last. I think that this is number 2, but I almost think that it's like 1A.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I really need to explain myself here. Amazing theme song, fantastic villains. I mean, 2 words, Phoenix Saga.
Oh, man.
I mean, there were great miniseries that they did. It was just so creative for a cartoon.
Yeah. It was like in depth in a way that cartoons hadn't been, or at least kids' cartoons had never been like that.
Yeah.
One thing that always pissed me off with this show was that at the beginning they showed all the characters fighting each other in the intro, and there were some characters they never actually showed in the show.
Yeah.
And it bothered me.
I just love Gambit. Gambit in this show was awesome.
Gambit was my favorite as well.
I was always a Wolverine guy.
Yeah, you would be.
Yeah. I liked Gambit. The intro episode, I remember there was like Pizza Hut did a promotion where you could get like VHS tapes of episodes of X-Men.
Man,
I had so many toys. I mean,
God, Pizza Hut did the best promotions back in the day.
They really did.
Yeah.
Book it.
Land Before Time.
Wow. Jeez.
I think X-Men deserves discussion as number 1.
I'm not willing to put it over Turtles.
Yeah, I'm not willing to put it over Turtles either. Again, I think it's a 1A.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. What was number two for sandwiches? Do you remember?
Is it a breakfast sandwich?
No, it was. I mean, I think this is as close. I think this is probably closer than anything was to the Reuben, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, this is why we do it with an odd number of people. I say it's number one. You guys both say it's below. You know, we don't do 1A on this podcast. It's one or it's two.
I say it's two.
Make Han. I am open. I am open for debate here. Give me your case for number one.
I can remember so many episodes of this show, many more than I can remember of Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was good. X-Men had the characters, it had the drama, it had cliffhangers. Remember there was the whole season-long arc where Professor X and Magneto were on that weird area where they didn't have their powers. It ended up being Doctor Strange, and all culminated with the season finale where Doctor Strange, I think his name was Doctor Strange, he kidnapped Cyclops and Jean Grey at their wedding, and then there was the whole thing with they found there was the senator and his watch had been magnetized, and then the Days of Future Past and Bishop and Cable, which they're turning into a movie next year. I mean, just so many good plots. The Dark Phoenix saga.
Is the Rock going to be Bishop? And if not, how big of a failure would that be?
The Rock needs to be Bishop. Oh my God.
Are we gonna have to endure Jubilee?
Jubilee was Jubilee was a bad part of that show.
What is everybody's effing problem with Jubilee? She provided a much needed, just kind of counter drama to everything else.
Counter drama
as counterweight.
It's like a baby who wore a yellow jacket and had like sparks fly out of her hands.
Yeah, magic, dangerous sparks.
Jubilee is like the Melisandre from Game of Thrones of X-Men.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
We just went meta there.
Seriously, HBO could make an X-Men show like Game of Thrones, and it would be good. Like, X-Men is number one, and the more I talk about it, the more I think it's number one.
So I'm gonna stick with Turtles as number one, and I'm gonna tell you why. For me personally, it's so hard. The first time I went to Washington D.C. when I was a little kid, I had a camera with me. And it was a film camera, 35 millimeter film camera. And I took pictures of everything. And I still have these pictures at my parents' house, right? And it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle camera that had a little watermark of Donatello on the lower right corner of all the pictures.
I remember that.
Which was so fucking brilliant. Because
it's like Instagram before Instagram.
Because in all of your pictures, there was a Ninja Turtle reminding you which camera you used to take those pictures.
Yeah.
It was so well marketed. It was so pervasive in every part of my childhood. And X-Men was great, but I feel like I had more conversations about which of my friends was which Ninja Turtle than which of my friends was which X-Men character.
So the one point I will give you on that, and I feel like Ninja Turtles did a much better job marketing.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles was working from a clean slate. Okay. X-Men was working from comic books that had defined characters, defined stories. So Ninja Turtles did it. This is like comparing Breaking Bad to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
X-Men is like Game of Thrones. It was working from a pre-written story.
Yeah.
So for that, I will give Ninja Turtles the very slightest of edge.
Okay.
And I won't give it, but I will compromise with this.
Okay.
So let's put X-Men at 2, and let's get the final one out here. Let's see what the final one is, and let's go from there.
So, I'm curious if you guys. I mean, you guys know what is on here, but I'm curious if you know what this last remaining one is. Do you both know what it is?
No.
Anthony, do you know what the remaining one is?
I'm sure I'll have an aha moment as soon as you
It's a
say
good
it. But
one.
no.
I feel like it's not going to live up to the lively debate of X-Men, but I might be wrong. If you had to guess, either of you, could you either of you even have a guess as to what this is?
Jeez, I don't even know. Like, because I feel like we've done such a good comprehensive view of those cartoons.
So
What
this is
network
one
was
that
it on?
Turner Networks.
TNT?
It was on Turner Networks. I'm almost positive. Either
The
TV. I
Tick?
think it was on TBS.
I don't know.
So this is one that when you watch it now, it's very political and still relevant.
Oh my god!
By our
Oh my
powers
god!
combined,
Oh man, Captain
I
Planet.
am Captain Planet.
Okay, so
We're talking top 5 on Captain Planet, right?
Yeah.
I think you put it right below Doug.
Yeah.
I think Doug stays at 3. I think you put it at 4.
I've been saying for years they need to make a live action Captain Planet movie.
Yes, they do. Community needs to do it. Community has the cast to do it. They could do it perfectly.
No, not just community, but if I'm just saying, like, if they actually were like, you know what, we're actually going to make a Captain Planet movie, like, they'd make a killing off of that because our generation would just flock to the theater to see that.
Flock.
Flock.
And you can just hashtag flock.
Flock. I mean, Captain Planet is fantastic. Great villains. You know, they could do it now. It could be all about fracking. Be perfect.
Great theme song.
Well, and also great voiceovers because you had well, I mean, these were some of the people that voiced some of the villains. Meg Ryan, David Rappaport. Let's
I'm
see
thinking
here.
Michael Rappaport.
Ed Asner, John Ratzenberger.
Oh, Cliffy.
Sting.
I
Martin
can't believe
Sheen.
John Ratzenberger was in that show, by the way.
Yeah,
Doesn't what I know about
seriously.
his political views? I'm
Yeah.
shocked he was in that show.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's like some some big time actors.
So I remember when I was in college, this show was on, like a rerun of it, so I watched it, and they had this character who was a parody, and not a very well hidden parody of George H.W. Bush. Like, clearly was George Bush.
Oh my gosh.
And
It was like
Love it. I love
it still holds up.
yeah. I
Um,
think that where you said to put it is a good spot.
I mean, like LeVar Burton was Kwame, like just fantastic.
I remember there were some very good cliffhangers at the end of seasons. This was another show that had great cliffhangers.
Yeah, I remember the episode where they like destroyed Gaia in the home base or whatever,
Yeah,
and they had to like
That's the
go
one I'm
back in
remembering,
time
too.
to undo it.
Wheeler.
Yep.
They also had 2 very special episodes. One about drug use and one about HIV and AIDS. Which and the HIV/AIDS one of the young man who was infected with HIV was Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I feel like this was such a like with like the special episodes and like the lessons. Like it was just very quintessential.
I mean, I definitely think it's above Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Are we saying above or below Doug?
I think it's below Doug.
This is tough. I mean, this is a tough top 5.
I think it's below
I'm
Doug.
I'm gonna put it above Doug, and this is why. I think that this show, again, I just think it was kind of more everywhere. Like it was like Doug was just a great show. It was a great simple show. But
I think there's something to be said for that.
yeah, but like again, like one of the metrics that we're using is just how pervasive this was in the culture at the time. And I feel like Captain Planet was everywhere.
And pulled in Voltron and Power Rangers and those shows where it was like combining to create one big thing.
Yeah, Voltron came way before Captain Planet, though.
Yeah, pulled that stuff in though.
Yeah.
I mean, like one of you says above Doug, one of you says below Doug. So I'm kind of the tiebreaker, I feel like. And I'm on the fence. I feel like this is like when the polls in college football have 4 really good teams and then like a 5th team, but it's like clearly it's just these 4, and that, there's a big divide like we've had the last couple of years. I mean, these top 4, any one of them could be number 1 in any given year.
Yeah. I mean, but this is the thing. I think if you had to say which top 3 could be number 1, I think that Captain Planet above Doug. Like, I think Doug is more interchangeable with Chip and Dale and Animaniacs than Captain Planet is.
I think I gotta agree. I love Doug. It's hard to push it down, but
I think Doug is like the top of like the second tier of tier 1.
I didn't have any Doug toys.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's not above X-Men.
No, it's not. But it's as close as any of the others are gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you look right now in our top 5: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men, Captain Planet, Doug, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I think that's about as perfect of a top 5 as you can get. Not to toot our own horns, but I think we did pretty good job. If I had to think of 5 cartoons that define my childhood, I think it's those 5.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I might take Chip and Dale out and put one of the other ones in, but if you said top 4, yeah, I wouldn't have any qualms with that.
So let's just start at the bottom, just to recap what didn't make it, what's off the board. Starting at the bottom, number 34, Sonic the Hedgehog, followed by Beetlejuice, Addams Family, and Aladdin. Those are the 4 that got off the board.
Bop, bop.
All of which were cartoons based on something that they did not need to be cartoons.
Yeah.
Moving into the second tier, Street Sharks, bringing up the rear of the second tier.
It made it, though.
It made it onto the board. Followed by Pro Stars, finishing much lower than I would have expected. Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? Goof Troop, Iron Man, Reboot, Garfield and Friends, Ghostbusters, David the Gnome, Bobby's World, and Rocko's Modern Life. Our top 20, so Rocko's Modern Life is number 20, followed by Tiny Toons, Muppet Babies, Ren and Stimpy, and Back to the Future.
Which is the top of tier 2?
That's the top of tier 2. In tier 1, number 15 begins with Gargoyles, then Darkwing Duck, G.I. Joe, Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man, Gummy Bears comes in at number 10. Our top 10, Gummy Bears at number 10, Rugrats at number 9, Tailspin at number 8, DuckTales at number 7, Animaniacs at number 6, top 5, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Doug at number 4, Captain Planet at number 3, X-Men number 2, and the champion of our childhood cartoon power rankings, the number 1 of the night, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
That's a damn good list.
Yeah.
I have no changes to that list. I think it's right.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah, now, and I think that, and look, if you've made it all the way through, 1, good for you, and 2, tweet us. Do you have any changes? Do you think that we got this right? Do you think that X-Men should be above Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Tweet us at Natty Brohs. Email us, nattybrospodcast@gmail.com. Let us know.
And if you have ideas for more power rankings like these that you want us to spend hours discussing, we like doing these. These are fun. So let us know what you think we should do. I think the one that we're going to get the most contention about is G.I. Joe so low and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers so high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a part of me that knows that people are gonna disagree with Chip and Dale.
I still love, we talked about Chip and Dale so long ago. I still think that's a great show. So I'm glad that it made the top 5.
I'm a little apprehensive about it, but I can live. I can live with that.
Yeah.
I think it was the right choice. It's just a great.
And one
it's
other
good.
note, if you're on the internet and you want to do some research on Doug, there are 2 great articles about Doug. There's one article, I think it's on Gawker, about is Doug racist? And there's another article.
Jeez.
There's another. Well, it's not an article. It's pictures of this girl who looks like Doug Funny. It blew up on the internet maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Google Doug Funny girl and you'll see her. She looks just like Doug Funny. It's really kind of sad. People might think it's photoshopped.
Yeah, that's wow. That's got to be photoshopped because that's really sad. Well, any final thoughts? Any closing comments?
Follow us on Twitter at Natty Brohs. Email us nattybros@gmail.com. Yeah, I mean, I think we did a great job. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for letting me on.
Yeah, we're glad we could have you on, and this was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to do it. So,
yeah, and until next time, YOLO.
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 That's all, folks.